Hello everyone, I'm Upasana Taneja, and in this video we have a question that a farmer goes to market and buys goats. He buys goats, if I say goats for G, and then he buys rabbits, if I say rabbits for R, and ducks for D. Okay, and then it is given that he pays $100 for 100 animals. Okay, now they are telling us two things. One thing, they are telling us that he is paying $100, right? He is paying $100. And second thing, they are telling us that he is buying 100 animals. That means if I add all the animals, G plus R plus D, that will be equal to 100, and that is for sure our first equation, right? Now we have another thing, that he bought goat for $10, right? And then he bought rabbit for $3. Okay, and then it says two ducks cost $1, right? That means what is the cost of one duck? It is $50, right? We need to look at the question carefully, that cost of two ducks is $1. Okay, then if suppose one goat is for $10, what will be the price of G goats? That will be equal to 10 times G, right? And if price of one rabbit is $3, that means the price of R rabbits, we have total R rabbits, right, will be equal to 3 times R, right? And then if cost of one duck is $50 and he is buying D ducks, number of ducks is D because we don't know, so ducks is D, so 1/2D, and total he paid 100. So that means we got second equation as well. So this is our second equation. What will I do? Since I have 2 in the denominator, what will I do? I will multiply whole equation with 2. So I will get 20G plus 6R plus D is equal to 200. So that means we have these two equations. And since we have three variables, right, we have three variables G, R and D. So we need to have three equations to find out the value of these three variables. But we are given only two equations. Now if I subtract equation number 1 from 2, that is 2 minus 1, I will write applying 2 minus 1. What will I get? 20G minus G is equal to 19G, right? 6R minus R will be equal to 5R, and D will cancel out. And on the right hand side, 200 minus 100 is equal to 100. Now we have this equation. We can say this is third equation, right? Okay, now we need to come to a conclusion that because we have now just one equation, 19G plus 5R is equal to 100. So what can we do now? So now we need to analyze this equation only. Okay, so I have that 19 times G plus 5 times R is equal to what? 100, right? Okay, so if suppose he buys 10 goats, okay, then what will happen? This will be 19 times 10 is 190. Okay, he has only $100, right? So he cannot buy 19 or 10 goats. Okay, so what will happen then? Because G is number of goats, so G is always less than 10, right? Okay, so because he has only $100, so if you put G is equal to 10, 10 times 10, 100, but he bought rabbits as well, he bought ducks as well, right? So G will be equal to, or G is less than 10, right? Okay, and then you know what? 5 times R is equal to 100, 19G plus 5 times R. So how many maximum rabbits he can get? If he buys, because one rabbit cost $3, right? And he has only $100. So if he buys suppose 30 rabbits, okay, then he is paying what? 30 times 3, $90 for rabbits. Okay, but He has got goat as well, and he has bought ducks as well, right? So that means he can buy maximum of 30 rabbits, right? So that means rabbit is less than 30. He cannot buy more than 30 rabbits, because if he will buy more than 30, then what will happen? He won't be able to buy a goat, because 30 times 3 is 90 only, and he has only $100, right? So R is less than 30, that means. Okay, so now we can do one thing. We have 19G plus 5R is equal to 100. What can we do? We can make this equation. We can eliminate one of the variable here. Okay, suppose I write that 5R is equal to 100 minus 19G. Can I write this? Yes. And then I will divide both sides with 5. Okay, what will I get? That R is equal to 20 minus 19 by 5G. Okay, now you know G is number of goats and R is also number of goats. So G is a whole number, right? So G can either be equal to, and you know what, one more thing, G can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But if I take G1, then 20 minus 19 by 5 will not be a whole number. If it will not be a whole number, then it is not possible, because R is number of rabbits. So this right hand side should also be a whole number, and this G should also be a whole number. So we can only take G as multiple of 5. Only then what can we get? We can cancel out terms, right? So G can be 5, 10, 15 up to so on, right? But since we know that G is less than 10, so G cannot be all these things. G can only be 5. G can only be 5, right? Now we are done. If G is 5, there is no other option at all. If G is 5, that means 19 by 5 times 5, we cancel out. That means R is 1. Okay. If you know G and R, and you know that G plus R plus D is equal to 100, that means D is equal to 100 minus G minus R. That means D is equal to 100 minus 5 minus 1. That means 94. So we know now that he bought 5 goats, right? 5 times 10, plus he bought 1 rabbit, that means 1 times 3, and he bought 94, what? He bought 94 ducks. 94 times 1 by 2. Why 1 by 2? Because cost of 1 duck is 1 by 2, right? Okay, so this is the answer, and the total will be equal to $100. Hence we have verified. So I hope you understood this. This was really interesting puzzle. If you got it, do subscribe to my channel. And I have Maths Olympiad questions, short tricks and concepts on my channel. Do visit and share your reviews. Thank you for watching. Bye bye. See you in next video.